Hi everyone, welcome to this YouTube video. Today we're going to be doing the topic about persuasive essays. So I've got a guide written up here and we're going to be going through it. So let's get started. So the first thing to understand about writing a persuasive essay is to understand the purpose of it, to understand the reader or the marker. Okay, so in terms of understanding the purpose, the reason we write a persuasive essay is to convince the reader to accept our viewpoint or to take a specific action by presenting logical arguments, emotional appeals, and strong evidence. There's a proper structure to it that I'll go through towards the end of the video, so just stay tuned. Now, when we're writing it, the second step would be to choose a very strong topic. Choose one that you're passionate about, that you know a lot about, and you can research about, so that you can actually start the either answering the question or at least try to write about it. Okay. Now, another important thing is to know your audience. Who is going to read it? What's the age gap going to be like? Is it for an adult? Is it for teenagers? So that's something you have to think about. And also, with choosing the audience, you have to adjust your language, tone, and evidence to appeal to their values, beliefs, and interests. Then you can start planning your argument. There's a little bit of pre-writing that goes, and in this case, with the question that you get, you can start brainstorming it. So your position needs to be clear and firm. 3 to 4 strong arguments with supporting evidence in your position, and a possible counter arguments if you want to include it, but it's not compulsory. You can stick to the question and use lots of fast statistics, quotes, and anecdotes. So the variety of statistics or variety of evidence would really help in the pre-planning or pre-writing stage. Then we have to structure our ideas into introduction, body paragraphs, counter argument or rebuttal, and conclusion. Now you can choose to write as many paragraphs as you like in the body section of the structure, but generally we stick to 3 body paragraphs, 1 introduction and 1 conclusion. Now we're going to be going through the structure of the persuasive essay very quickly. So the first thing we do is start off with an introduction with any kind of writing in English. So the first thing you should do is to start off with a hook. You can start with a powerful opening to grab their attention, like a question, sarcastic comment, satire, quote, vivid image, anything that comes to your mind that is going to help in answering the question. Then you're going to give a little bit of background, like briefly explain the issue and the thesis statement to that question so that your position is clarified with that issue that you're discussing. For example, here, this is a good introduction. Imagine a world where students spend less time choosing outfits and more time learning. Mandatory school uniforms could make that a reality. Okay. Next step would be to do your body paragraphs. You can have 1 paragraph for each point that you write about. And there's a teal structure. I'm sure you guys would have learned about this in school. Different schools have different acronyms for it. I go by teal. So each of the letters in teal stand for something. The first one is topic sentence, so that's a clear statement of your point. Next would be your evidence, your facts, so those are the statistics, reports, or academic research that you do to support your point. Then you write the explanation to that thesis statement or the topic sentence that supports your evidence. Now this is a very crucial part, is because essays are basically explaining why you have a the purpose of the persuasive essay is to convince the audience, right? So in this case, you have to show the evidence supports your point, and the link is, or the summary is, to connect back to your thesis. So you can use strong transition words like moreover, furthermore, in contrast, consequently in this section to move into the next body paragraph, which is going to start with a new point. Then you can have a separate paragraph for counter argument and rebuttal. This is to create that balance between why you agree with something and what's the other side of the argument. You can choose to include it, and if you want to not include it, that's fine as well. In this section, again, the structure is very similar to body paragraphs, but what we're going to be doing is addressing the other side of the main argument. So we have to put it in a logical tone and style with evidence or reasoning. Okay, show maturity and strength. That strengthens your credibility in this section as well. So we can say something like, some argue that uniforms suppress individuality. However, students can still express themselves through accessories, hairstyles, and attitudes. The last part is going to be conclusion. So in this section, you can restate your thesis in different words, summarize the key points, and that structure is very much similar to that of the introduction. It's generally 4 sentences that you can write for a primary school level or senior school level student. Okay. And then last part of the conclusion would also be to include the call to action that urges the reader to agree or act. Okay, so for example, you can say, to foster equality, concentration, and pride, schools must adopt a uniform policy. It's time to dress for success. Now, one important thing about persuasive text is we are trying to use different kinds of language features, and we're trying to embed that within our writing to make it more strong, okay, or more sophisticated. So we have to try and use emotive language, and that's a language feature that can really help in convincing the audience, because that's what the purpose of a persuasive essay is. We have to use modal verbs like must, should, that is going to get the audience to act or to understand your position as a writer. Rhetorical questions can be asked that helps in engaging the readers. Inclusive language like we, our, us, and high modality words as well, like undoubtedly, certainly, absolutely, that really strengthens your position as a writer for your point of view. Then the last part would be to edit and check your writing. So check for grammar, spelling, persuasive strength. Is there anything you can add to make this better? Can you fix up the grammar, the sentence structures, and or maybe get someone to have a read of it to, submit your draft or your final writing piece. And the last part is a quick checklist for you guys to have a look at. So have a strong hook, clear thesis, logical structure, strong evidence, counter argument if you want to, included persuasive formal language because we're writing for maybe school or university, flawless grammar and spelling. So all the best for your writing, and please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you. Bye.